First of all, I want to personally thank you. And when I saw it, I just wanted to turn around and call that number that you gave out when you were when you were talking.
I mean, you did.
Well, and I'm so happy that you did that. I think I wish more people had the courage to do what you did. And I know that this was not a surprise to you. You were elected openly gay, so it wasn't a surprise to them. But was it just one incident that just pushed it too far that you thought you needed to do this?
It was something that I'd thought about over particularly the month of September, and I have to tell you, the video that you made was part of what I had in my head that said I need to do this, and we had just story after story after story all through September, and it just broke my heart, and I thought I've got to do something about this. But what is that? And I will tell you that on Monday of last week, when a young man named Zach Harrington in Oklahoma committed suicide after attending a city council meeting where a bunch of unfortunately anti-gay rhetoric was thrown about, and he killed himself, I thought, if there's any better venue for me to take this on, it's at my own city council meeting. And so the next morning, I went home at lunch, cried a whole lot, wrote it all out, and it was never edited once, and I just read it word for word that night.
It was so real and raw and moving, and more people, like I said, you know, because you're a great example. You're successful. You went through it. You got through it, and things do get better. And I think that is the message to send: is that look at your life now. Look what you're doing and how successful you are. And I thought what was really amazing is you come from what part of Texas were you born in?
Just south of Fort Worth, Crowley.
All right. So you have a dad that you self-described as a cowboy, right?
Yep.
And your mom is here in the audience,
Yep.
and you'd think that there are certain people that just will never accept it, and your family is an example of the love and support that needs to happen. And you've got to be so proud of your son.
Yes, I am.
I mean, what an amazing... Did you have any idea that... He said this was the first time you were hearing... It must have been really hard for you to hear that kind of emotion.
It was hard. I think one of my first thoughts was we had failed him in some way. But he has a very forgiving heart, and he loves us and allows us to love him.
That's beautiful. That's what...
Don't make me cry again.
Well, that's all you want from a parent. That's all you want, is for them to love you and get that love back. That's a... what would you say the best thing is that came out of this for you?
I would say it's probably the now countless number of kids from around the world, from literally every continent, who have either emailed or sent me a message on Facebook or joelburns.com or whatever, who said, I was in a really, really bad place and I was making plans to take my own life. And the fact that they have reconsidered that, that's worth me crying at city council, worth the heartache for my mom and dad, worth every bit of all of that, because they're still alive.
Yeah, it makes a difference to save a life. I also want to say, I mean, you know, because for me, I did it because it's the right thing to do, and you want to be honest and open and not hold on to shame and feel like anything's wrong with you. But what it does, the byproduct of that is it does save lives. You know, and you talked about, you didn't really, you couldn't go into it because you were too emotional, but I assume what you were avoiding reading was that you tried to take your own life when you were young.
Yes.
And something happened to stop it. And so whatever it was that stopped it, thank God for that. But the way you end the speech of talking to your 13-year-old self and all those things that, and if anybody who's out there, that you're 13 or you're however old you are, you can try to get out of that place and go to the future. I think that is a beautiful thing that you said, to go back and say, look at me now.
There's so many happy memories that will be made. You just have to live long enough to get to them.
Yeah, and we need our family support, and we need, you know, anybody who's witnessing something like this to stop it. We just need to love one another and accept one another.